Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. I'm Joanna and I'm glad you're here. I love to DIY on a budget, and if you like to sew, then catch me on Saturdays. Now, let's get crafty. Okay, so we're not sewing today. I'm going to decorate my 2x4 that I use for a clapper that is not a 2x4. But anyway, I got one of my famous fat quarters here from Hobby Lobby, and I'm just going to press it, okay? And I got this idea from Julie at the Creative Chica, and she did a little one, but I already have my 2x4, and it's hard to handle because it doesn't have a handle. You just have this board that you pick up. But what it does is it presses your seams very, very well, like flat. So this is an A4 sheet of paper, okay? And it's 8.5 by 14. That's what A4 is, in case you didn't know. I didn't know for a long time, so I'm not calling you anything. I'm just saying I didn't know. I sure ain't calling myself something like somebody else did me, but that's okay. I forgive them. But anyway, I'm going to take this paper and I'm going to press my seams of my supposed to be 2x4, which is not. It's only 3.5 or 3 something, but anyways, it's 11. But you do this, it doesn't matter what size my board is. You do it according to your size, okay, board that you have. This is just a scrap piece that I found, and I had it, and that's what I use, and that's what I've always had in my room, so that's what I'm decorating. So I'm going to fold this over, and I'm going to get all my creases. You get the gist of this. You don't have to watch me fold paper. So I'm going to get a template. See, there it is right there, and I'm going to cut this out, and yeah. So now that I have this cut out to where it's going to go around my board here, I am going to, I need corners. I can't just fold this around. I'd have too much fabric. So I'm just going to pinch on my corners, and then I will cut that square out that I'm pinching there. Okay. So now you see my paper there. I had to rig it because I cut too much off. So I'm going to lay it on here, and I'm going to trace it out on here, and then I'm going to cut this out. This is Heat and Bond, but I have Heat and Bond Light. I cannot find my Heat and Bond Ultra Strong or whatever it is. I can't find it, so I had to use my Heat and Bond Light. If you have the strong one, please use the strong one. I was going to Mod Podge it down, but I was afraid that the Mod Podge would get wet and start peeling up. Now, I do Mod Podge over it, but I do not Mod Podge the whole thing down. I do put a layer of Mod Podge over it when I'm done, okay? And that's just to seal my fabric down and seal my edges, because you'll see the way I cut it is jagged, and I'll explain later. So I'm going to trace out my corners. I don't know what I'm doing with my hands. I'm crazy. And I'm going to cut these out and have my template with my Heat and Bond, okay? Okay, so now that I have that down, I'm just ironing my Heat and Bond down, okay? I ironed that before I showed you. I thought my camera was on, it wasn't. So I'm going to let that cool, and then I am going to take and cut right down the side of that, and then I'm going to cut that out, okay? I'm flicking my scissors at you. So once you cut it out, this is the hardest part of the whole thing, I think, is trying to peel this paper back, because I don't want to fray my fabric, but I got to get my paper off of here, and it's so, ugh. But you see that shiny side? Make sure when you iron this down, you iron the rough side down, okay? You'll know how it is. So now that I have this, okay, I'm going to take my little mini iron, and it's on high heat, okay? And sorry if you heard me swallow. It is hotter than Satan's toenails, or it's getting hotter than Satan's toenails. And it's hot in this room. I had to shut the door because you hear the fan, the air, and all this other junk. So, yeah. So I swallow a lot. Plus my mouth gets blah. But anyway, I'm just going to take this and I'm going to iron it down. Sorry for all the hoopla. And do all the sides. And if I have any overlapping, then I'll trim it. So I make sure, I thought it was leaking, but I drip water. Make sure your steam is not on. You need a dry iron to do this, or a heat press will work too. If you want to, you can put parchment paper over it so you're not gonna get any sticky on your little iron, but it didn't on mine because it was fabric, I guess. I don't know. It didn't seep through. Maybe because it's Heat and Bond light. Maybe. But see here, I am trying to get all those edges cut, and these scissors were not working. I had to go get my curved scissors from my embroidery. They're curved. You can use curved fingernail scissors. They work wonders. Okay? There's a tip for you. Keep them in your sewing room. So I'm just going to trim, because you don't want any of this hanging down underneath of your board where it's going to be touching fabric. I'm going to Mod Podge this, and I don't want any Mod Podge on the bottom of this, okay? So I'm going to seal my edges down with my iron, and then I am going to finish working my way, trimming and working my way around this 2x4, okay? Nothing is going on the bottom. Right here you see me, I'm doing the other side. So I'm just going to fold it in and do my sides. I didn't know if you... Okay, I'll hold on. Alright, there we go. So now I'm going to take matte Mod Podge. It really don't matter what Mod Podge. You see me brushing that thing? And I'm going to give it a coat of Mod Podge. While that's drying, this is a piece of paper. And y'all, the Creative Chica printed her fabric. And that's what I did. I didn't want to put fabric on this box because I didn't know how I would cut it through the holes. And I needed the holes for a handle. So I printed my fabric. I just put it in my inkjet printer and printed my fabric onto my paper. Thank you, Julie. So this is what I'm going to use, and I was going to iron it to the box, but then I didn't want to cut it around those holes. So I am going to take this, and that I almost cut my finger off, so I grabbed my scissors. And I'm just cutting off the trim because when I printed it, it had a slight border on it, and I don't want no border on this. So now I'm going to take my little Dollar Tree crate here, and I am going to place it on my paper, and I'm going to leave a little bit of edge because I'll sand it off later, or you can cut it off with an X-Acto knife. And I'm just going to trace around, and then I'm going to bring it up, leave a little bit of gap, and I'm going to trace it again. And then I will flip it over on its side, or on the end. I guess I had it on the side. I'm putting it on the end now, and I'm going to trace around my end, and then I'll put that other end at the top there, and I'll trace around that. Then I'm going to take my scissors and just carefully cut that out, okay? And I do leave a little more room just in case it comes up short, because these Dollar Tree projects or products are not all equal. They're not all the same. So right here I am taking my Mod Podge. Y'all have seen me Mod Podge before if you watch my DIY channel. But I'm just going to place my paper down, and then I'm going to take my roller here. I had to clean this thing. I had Mod Podge all over it. But I'm just going to do this to all four sides of my crate. I'm not worried about the inside or the bottom, just the sides, okay? So right here, because I have a jagged edge, I have this ribbon from Hobby Lobby, making sure I don't have anything on the bottom, and I'm trim real close to the edge as high as you can, and it's going to leave a gap. So I didn't want to use hot glue because I was afraid the steam would mess it up. I don't know. I'm pretty sure fabric tack will work. So I'm so sorry. I am just going to take and put my fabric tack along that top edge of that, where that ribbon is. There's a, room for it. Oh, me. And then at the end, when I focus, I just peeled it over and smushed it into the other. And it was seamless. It was seamless, y'all. Perfect. So now, isn't this pretty? I could have painted it white, but I didn't bother because it was paper. Now, I got this handle from Hobby Lobby, and it was beautiful. It was $4.99, but I got it for 40 or 50% off when it was on sale. So I'm going to eyeball the center of this, and I don't get it center, but it's okay. And I'm going to take wood screws because it didn't come with any, and I'm going to wood screw this down in there. Now, if I want to, I can paint my screw heads white, but where this is, I don't know, distressed, I'm stressed. Where it's distressed, it doesn't really matter. It all kind of matches. So there's my screws. There's my handle. Oh my gosh, I'm in love with this thing. Thank you, Julie. I appreciate it. The idea was awesome. Y'all will have to go check out her I'll link the video. She has 3, but I'll link her video, or one of them, down below. Okay? So now that these are dry, I'm just going to take a little razor knife and I'm going to, kind of cut out my holes there, my handles a little bit. And then I'll flip it over and I'm going to trim my sides. Did you see the edges? It was so fast. I was going so fast. I'm so sorry. But I trim the edges of the paper that's hanging there, and then I take a file and I'm going to sand the edges. Now, I'm not sanding up and down. I'm just going down in a downward motion. It just looks like up and down because it's going so fast. But I'm just going down in a downward motion just to clean out the paper from around that handle hole, okay? And then I'll do the rest of it on top. But now on the sides, you don't want to do that because I did it like that right there, trying to, and I peeled my back paper off, okay? So you don't want to do that. Just cut it and then leave it. I pointed at and peeled my paper, so that's when I'm going to cut it. So just cut your excess paper off and then sand anywhere you don't have any intersections, okay? Like on the bottom and on the top. Or you can cut it too. That's up to you. So this is why I needed the little box, okay? To hold my extra thread, my snippers, and my tool that I use for this Brother sewing machine. It has a bed to it. And there's no room. There is no room, and that fits perfect. See, there's no room under there. And I was afraid I was going to lose my little screwdriver thing. So this little mini box is not only functional, but it's cute. And there is my clapper. And I absolutely love it. I know it's going to come in more handy now that I can handle it better. So until next time, I know this ain't like a sewing video, but you can actually do these for your sewing room and you'd love it. They're useful. So until next time, you are a blessing. Goodbye.